Hello and welcome. My name is Miro. I'm the founder of ManifestX and the conscious entrepreneur community here with Craig Schulze. Welcome, Craig.
Hey, welcome. Thank you, Miro.
Yeah, so happy to have you. So, Craig, we had a powerful conversation this week and earlier last week, and I love your story because you've gone through quite a lot of pain and you've created quite a lot of fantastic things in the world. You're a seven-figure earner in over 100 different countries. Have you created network marketing businesses and scaled them? You own multi-millions in property, and you've built really a lifestyle business. Like you're traveling right now, right? Like where in the world are you right now?
I'm actually sitting on top of a hill in Waiheke Island, which is about 45 minutes off the coast of New Zealand from Auckland. So just here with a few friends before heading off to Bora Bora tomorrow. So yeah, just on the road at the moment, traveling around.
Beautiful, man. You're living the good life, and I think we need to highlight that more and celebrate that more because I think you and I both, maybe we're there once and know a lot of people who still are just really struggling, really grinding, working themselves to death and having sort of a horrible life so that they can build something else and like sacrificing themselves along the journey. And it looks like that you've really built something incredible and continue to build and enjoying the process, enjoying the journey of that, right? So would love for you to share a little bit about how you design your lifestyle and your business, and also your powerful story. You shared with me some incredible deep stuff around your son. You lost a child at an early age, and it's just so hard, breaking really. But then the way you use that power and that energy to continue to fuel you and fuel your business and your mission, that's so inspiring. So I'd love for you to just share all of the goodness, all of the fire here, and talk a little bit about the experience of creating what you have created and living the life this way.
Cool. More than happy to. Hopefully the internet stays quite strong here. I've dropped in and out a couple of times, but I guess for me, I've always been that visionary thinker as a leader, and I did go through the normal channels of what you're brought up with, and often programmed to become, get a good education, get a good job, and go and buy your first house, and it's sort of like nearly a program thing that most people are brought up in with, especially here in Australia as well. So I went down that path and become an engineer, but I fired my boss aged 21 because I had big dreams and I felt trading time for money wasn't really for me. So I started my first business aged 21, which was a fitness club. And back in 2001, there wasn't a social media platform out there. And I felt, owning a traditional business, that was the way you did business back then. You didn't have social media, you didn't have smartphones, you wasn't able to do Zooms. So I built that business and owned 5 gyms. I set up 22 franchises. And in 2006, the way business was done was change. And I felt I needed to adapt and change with the big drivers, internet, social media, and smartphone technology. That's what drove me to look at lifestyle businesses in the network marketing industry. And I basically started doing it alongside my gyms, and earned my third year was my first 6-figure year doing that. And I wanted to take it to another level. And in 2011, I helped launch a company into Australia, and I've been there for 8 years now. I have a business in over 100 different countries in the world, and spend 26 weeks of the year just traveling around. And, as long as I can get on the internet and smartphone technology, I've been able to do business. My last 5 years have all been over 7 figures in commission as well. And I'm a property investor, so I have 10 houses in Australia and value $6.5 million worth of property there. So, I'm always an entrepreneur out there looking at new ways to innovate and bring world's best practice to what I do. Now, you mentioned a bit about challenges. That was, 5 or 6 years ago, my wife and I were looking to start our family. We'd sort of set ourselves up and we were living we're in that position and that timing of life, and that there through its certain challenges out there, actually, a few weeks before we had our first baby, our baby actually died. So that was quite a traumatic experience, as you can imagine. You're a few weeks from bringing joy to the world, and you're in a ward at a hospital getting your routine checkups, and the doctor said there's no heartbeat, we're going to have to deliver this baby. And that rocked our world at the time, as you can imagine, which that was you're going through that process of delivering a baby that's not going to live, but then following that you're having a funeral, and going through that process there. And ironically, that was extremely challenging. I had incredible people around me and friends and network, which is massively important for success, the people you align with. But I actually, that year, I used that as a form of inspiration, where I looked at the adversity and the challenge, and the opportunity in that was to go and, not put my head in the sand and sulk, was to actually do things to make my son proud. And that year I actually, I probably tripled my business in that year alone.
Powerful, man. Well, such important lessons you shared here just now. And again, I want to acknowledge you for bringing that story into the world so that people can learn and find meaning in it. And there's so much power in this emotion, and making your son proud. I can only imagine what fire that gives you as a thought to just continue to push yourself, when otherwise, that's the thing, like the putting your head in the sand. This is, I think, one of the key, mistakes people are making when things are down. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel good. I should just, be by myself and, I don't know, go to alcohol or whatever the things are looking, to do to fill themselves up. But I feel like I don't have a reason to talk to someone if I don't feel perfect and I'm not smiling. But that's actually the opposite, right? If we don't connect our network and our community in these moments of hardship, then the meaning of the pain is kind of fizzles out. It's only when we connect to those who, the other thing is too, like, there are people like me and you who would love helping people, right? So if we meet someone who's like going through this journey on their own and they're hitting a wall, and they don't reach out, it's like, it's a double loss, actually. Because if we have an opportunity to help someone, break them out of pain and set them up for success, like, that makes us happy, right? And so does it make them. And so I guess I just want to highlight here, like, your courage to, not bury your head, but like bring the story out. And also anyone listening or watching, just, if you're in a situation right now, like, go reach out to someone. Actually, you have a crazy gift, Craig. We just discussed this before the call, that you'd have a little bit of a giveaway for anyone who's, listening to the whole thing and who wants to get some support of you and replicate your success. Tell us about that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've helped over 100 people in all different countries around the world be able to become that lifestyle entrepreneur, where they've built a business that, gives them a bit of freedom. And, as a part of my vision and mission over the last 12 to 18 months, I started to create a brand called the Wealthy Network Marketer, which includes an online show. But now I'm, really taking innovation, world's best practice, and implementing into the purest form of business, which is referral-based marketing. And as a part of that, I set up, what I call discovery sessions for open-minded entrepreneurs to connect with me. And I spend an hour with them and we go through the why and the how for, is this something that can help you find that freedom for yourself, and a part of it's two ways, where people need to align. So if if you don't align with the company values, the products and the opportunity, it won't build something. So that discovery session is really a two-way conversation. But it's an hour of my time, which I'm really keen to, I don't just do it with anyone that's just interested in products. It's just really open-minded entrepreneurs that say, hey, I want to go from here to there. Can this help me? And that's the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I feel like that's very generous to just, be on a call with you for an hour. I know everybody watching is going to get a ton of value just from hearing your story. I would love for you to highlight a little bit, what is the mindset or skill set? What do you feel has brought you through the challenges on your journey?
Look, for me, everything, I always just think about being hungry, like if you really, really want something, you got to fight for it. And
Yeah.
that there, like, I guess the alternative, and that is, just living a normal life, that scares me.
Mm,
That's a fear. So I guess I've always just said, hey, things might be tough right now, but it's going to feel so much better on the other side when I fight through. And I was, if I come all the way back to my story with Ethan, I actually still have a picture on my screensaver on my phone of his feet. So I always say to myself, if I'm having a hard day or a challenge or something like that, I always say, hey, this isn't a hard day. A
mm,
hard day is watching your wife deliver, your unborn, going to be a child that's not going to live.
mm,
That's hard. So, I just put it into perspective sometimes, challenges, because people can make, mountains out of molehills often. But I guess if it
mm.
gets back to your dreams and where you want to go in life, anything and everything is possible if you truly want it. But most people really need to grow their self, and working on their mindset's a skill like anything. And if if their mindset isn't strong and unbreakable, that's the type of thing that they really need to be working on. And if you start building that, you start building belief in yourself, you start believing in your vision and your why, magic can happen.
That's so powerful. Unbreakable mindset. And I think the key, key two ingredients that I'm learning from you here is to saying, okay, you've got the picture of your son on your phone, and you're able to go, okay, whatever my situation is right now, this is not hard because this happened, right? And it's like partly painful to even imagine for people right now, but there's a lot of freedom that comes from that, right? There's a lot of freedom to say, okay, I thought this situation has power over me. And I think we all have a story in the past where we had to overcome something, right? So even though this right now feels like the situation has power over me, I remember when I did this, and here's the accomplishments that I have come through. So I can also go through this. And then the second ingredient, right? It's the focus on what's possible. Like freaking, there's a lot of possibilities in this planet, right? I mean, people are going to space right now. We have 3D printers in space who can print like organic tissue. Like that's crazy, right? But that's literally happening as we speak. And that's just like one of the examples. Um, so the possibilities are really incredible in life and in business today. And if we focus on where we want to go and how it's going to feel, right? Like just bringing that emotion in, how happy and excited are you going to be, when you can give the keys to a new house to your own parents because you retired them for good, right? Or whatever it is, that goal, like that specific vision that people have to look forward to. That's key.
Yeah. And that, just to add to that, was, like some people say it's okay for you because you've already had success or anything like that. For me, if I backdated the story a little bit further, I come from quite humble conditions. In fact, last year in Australia, they listed the cheapest place in Australia to buy a house. And I said to my wife at the time that I bet you that's where I grew up. And so I got onto realestate.com at the time and Googled houses in Australia, and my house that I was born into was listed there for $60,000. And, so I grew up in the cheapest part of Australia. I left home when I was 15, not because
Oh,
I
I can
wasn't
relate.
loved. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't because I wasn't loved. It was because I just didn't have opportunities in that town. It was 1,000 people. Our school finished very early, so I left home young, and so I haven't been given, let's say, the golden handshakes along the way. It's all
Yeah.
come from within and hard work.
Dude, that's so powerful. Maybe this is why we get along, because my story is literally like, 15, 16 years old. I moved away from home, small town in Germany. And then, had a near-death experience, breakdown, like was in a gang, almost died, and decided I wanted to go to America instead. And so by the time I was 18, I was here and living sort of my dream with $50 in the pocket, working at a homeless shelter, volunteering with kids, doing education. And that was my start. So yeah, you and I are on the same page, and it's very, yeah, again, like others are like, oh, well, successful people are successful, that's why they're successful, but it couldn't happen to me.
Yeah.
But and that's just like not true. So it's so good. So good to see you flourish. And I think one of the things that I'm observing is a lot of people are in a business that really has them grind and struggle and just like have a hard life still, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your methods and ingredients to having this experiences, travel, lifestyle in your business?
Yeah, for me, one person said to me one time, work harder is not going to cut it anymore. You've got to be working harder but smarter. And the world's changing and business changes. And for me, I've worked in the corporate world as an engineer, and trading time for money wasn't me. I owned traditional businesses, 5 gyms for 12 years, and I got to a point where I was having more headaches with staff than I was with clients, and I was just starting to really fall out of love with what I was doing. And the one thing I loved about what I do now, and I tested the water for 3 years just to see whether it was something for me, but I loved, I wanted to travel. I wanted freedom. I understood the real concept of leverage and how to leverage things and opportunity and relationships and money. And this industry really aligned with me. And then it was finding a company that I believe ticked all the due diligence boxes of what you would do if you were assessing anything, whether it was an investment or property or whatever. I did a due diligence process. And then once I committed and submitted, it was all in. But where I am in 2018 to where I was in 2008, the way we do business now has changed. We can now connect online with so many more people. We can, the internet provides so much more opportunities. Smartphones and the apps that we have now can make your life easier. So if you're in business, there are ways to do things that you're doing now better if you know where to find it, and it is joining communities like this to help you out. So I'm in like a dozen of these type of communities, and I'll watch the feed and the contributions, and someone might list an app or a website that's helped them, streamline their business better, and I'll go and explore that. So it's all about keeping an open mind to endless possibilities.
That's so good. I appreciate that. I think the key words that I'm hearing from you and my mentor, was help some of the richest people in the world really, scale their businesses, just adopting that mindset. And what I'm hearing from you is like innovation, adapting, and having an open mind. So like understanding, okay, what's working, what's not working, where's the trends going, what's the future doing, right? Because if you're not, if you're not prepared for that, like if you were still doing gyms, then you'd still be around, staff that is giving you headaches, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of go with the times, or, grow or die, really. Like that's it. And so I think the key then, would you say, for you to get into the lifestyle that you have is just being adaptable to make changes basically constantly, right?
Yeah.
Or what would you say?
But I guess that you've got to have the vehicle that allows you to do that. You can't travel the world if you've got a full-time job. In Australia, you get 4 weeks off a year. In America, I think it's 2 to 4 weeks off a year. So working in a job and doing what I'm doing, it's easy to say, hey, I'd love to be a lifestyle entrepreneur. I'd love to be able to travel the world. I'd love to be able to, live life the way I want to live it, blah, blah, blah. But you need to, I guess, do the work first, but also find a vehicle or an opportunity that will allow you to do that. And owning a fitness club, for me, was something that would not allow me to do that, because I needed to physically be there. Like I couldn't pick my gym up and do that. And if I wasn't around, my business just wouldn't operate well without me, because my clients had that relationship with me. So it was, hey, it did take 3, 4, 5 years to get to where I am now. But this, what I do when I'm doing business in 100 countries, when all I need is a phone and the internet and my and my apps, I'm allowed I can do that. But so that's really the opportunity.
I get it. So I'm curious about the gym business. A lot of people are growing those. Like, what did you end up giving that up, letting that go? Did you end up putting teams into place or selling it? What did you end up doing with that?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I was really passionate about that, because I was a semi professional sports person in a way. I wasn't a paid athlete, but I was playing at like very high levels. So I was always passionate about sport, health, fitness, well-being. So again, that aligned with my values. It made sense for me to go and follow my passions at the time, and that was the gym. And I was doing really well after 3 years. I grew that to 5 gyms over the next 3 years, helped franchise the business as well. And over that 12-year period, I got to about year 7, 8, 9, and I fell out of love with what I was doing. So I was making an exit at that point. So I transitioned out. So I did what I'm doing now part-time for 3 to 4 years. And then I ended up, having luck, and sometimes these things just happen. I wasn't looking to sell, but 2 great people that worked for me for 6 or 7 years said, Craig, we would like to buy this business off you because we love it. We know where you're at in life. And I was able to say, with, if you're prepared to pay this, which is a fair price, I'm prepared to just hand it over. And it just sort of happened like that. And I wasn't looking to sell, but I'm glad that's happened that way.
That's so good. I can see you light up a little bit. That must have been just like an amazing memory how luck came together this way, right?
Yeah, look, a lot of people that sell businesses or, in business relationships of some sort, there's often a winner or a loser. In my situation, I respected the value that they'd put into my businesses over the years, and they treated it like their own. So I didn't want to drive a hard bargain. I got paid fair and reasonable. They're both doing incredibly well now. I'm doing incredibly well, and we all still catch up. And, it was a bit of a win-win type of situation. And it wasn't even negotiation involved. They just said, yep, done. I didn't be stupid about it. And yeah, that's how it worked.
So good.
But it was really because of love, I fell out of love with what I was doing. And if it did get into a negotiation, they were ready to transition themselves and be business owners themselves. So they were going to lead. So that's what I was going to lose. So I said, look, let's not be silly here. Like, you guys can buy it off me, pay for this, and it happened that way. But if I fought for that, they would have moved, and I would have had to go find people, and they'd worked for me for 7 or 8 years. So all good.
Yeah, beautiful. So I guess what's next for you? You've come incredibly far. What's your next level? Like, what's the edge that keeps you going?
Yeah, look, I mean, again, I've joined a few entrepreneur groups over the last 12 to 18 months because I wanted to go next level in my business. I'm not satisfied. I'm as hungry as ever for success. I've just turned 40, young family, and I love what I do. So really what I'm doing at the moment is just doubling down on what I've already built in foundations all around the world. And, we've just opened markets in India and Africa and Europe. And, so I've got a tour of Europe coming up 4 or 5 weeks, where I'm going to about 10 or 12 different countries. And I'm just really out there, I guess, seizing the moment of the opportunity. But I am now implementing more of that marketing strategy that all the best people in the world use, with content creation, funnel building, the stuff that the movers and shakers are of the world. I'm applying that to what I do.
Cool. I also would love for you to talk about some of the referral type business, because I've been in online marketing for a couple of years, and I worked for a global digital marketing agency here in Kansas City. with clients all over the world, like Ford Motors, Sprint, US Soccer, stuff like that. And I've tasted both. I think human to human is a powerful method of connecting to people. Tell me a little bit about how you handle the people to people and referral side of business. What does it look like for you?
Look, for me, the purest form of business is always in person. So you can look at someone eye to eye, belly to belly, whatever. But you need to be able to now, be able to do things like this, to be able to do that, because I want to connect with business-minded people in India, and you just can't go there every second week. So that physical contact for building businesses and relationships, it needs to be as personal as possible still. So this is quite personal still. But I've always come from a place of giving, and I think referral is the ultimate sign of giving. And when I was in the fitness industry, I used to I built my whole business really off referrals, and it was always about adding value to people and people respecting what you do, and saying, hey, Craig's a good guy, he's a good trainer, he's a good entrepreneur, he puts his heart and soul into everything he does. You've got to connect with this guy. And that's sort of how I treat business relationships. Typically, network marketing as a business model is effectively referral-based marketing. And that's why I love it so much, because if I find that I love a product, why not tell people about it? So I couldn't be in this industry just selling a product I don't believe in and don't love. But outside of network marketing, one of your key business strategies or key life strategies is to improve your network of people. And to do that, you need to build relationships and put time and effort and add as much value as possible. You'll win if you can adopt that referral based approach to what you're doing. And that may be climbing the corporate ladder as well. It's put your heart and soul into it and show that you are committed to what you're doing. And, people will say, hey, Miro's doing a great job here. You've got to connect to his community, or, he's adding so much value. And that's what I always look to do, is add as much value as possible.
That's it. That takes me back to, even going here, my first sort of dream of coming here, I was a volunteer at a homeless shelter, right? At 18 years old. And I had a dream, like, okay, I made it to America. I want to stay here. I want to do business, like social entrepreneurship. I want to help kids. I want to end homelessness, poverty, everything, like end depression. Let's go. And then people are like, this kid's crazy, but like, let's help him, right? And so people felt that like commitment from me, even though my dreams were out there always. And it just helped me get closer and closer, and people just start showing up and supporting when they feel that you have a heart and you're going for something that's great. So I can see, you're doing great. You're being a person of value now. I appreciate you saying that. Yes. Any final lessons or advice for our listeners? Just so you know, a lot of people are here at a stage where they've built a business, but it's just like there's still sometimes that doubt is creeping in, like, am I going to really be this successful? Am I going to be able to keep this going? And I'm sure all challenges you've dealt with, or maybe still deal with at times, right? So what kind of a lesson you'd have for anybody listening like this right now?
Look, I always say to people, anything and everything is possible if you put your mind to it. And people stop dreaming. And that there is one thing I like to, and I talk to people about in that 1 hour session. I go through a work-life vision book. So what does your vision look like in 3 years, 5 years, etc.? But people need to have a clear pathway. If you want to become an Olympic gold medalist, it's a 4-year process to get up onto that thing. And you don't just get up there because you want to be an Olympic gold medalist. You have to do, if you're a swimmer, get up every day at the period of time and do the work to reach your goals. But, you know, if I was giving people advice and lessons to move forward, for me, building network is in like your relationships, the quality of your contacts, associate with people that are movers, shakers, positive thinkers. You know, they often say your net worth will end up a representation of your network. So go and hang around with good quality people. I would also say understanding and adopting the principle of and the concept of building leverage into your life. So that's making money on money from finance. It's freeing up time. Time's your number one asset, and meaningful relationships. Leverage time, money, and meaningful relationships. And that, you know, that there's a really important. That was my first mentor lesson for me, age 21. He said, "Hey, Craig, if you can't leverage this, don't do it. Most important thing you need to do though is build contacts and relationships."
Dude, that's so powerful. If you can't leverage this, don't do it. Just build quality relationships and contacts. Beautiful, powerful. This also resonates with me. I'm so happy you share your message with us today. I'll add this net worth and network. And you know what else I found is a key component to that equation is self-worth, right?
Yeah.
If you increase your self-worth and like start realizing you are worthy of success and you are good enough and you are enough to, you know, have love in your life and an amazing lifestyle, you deserve this. Like, do it for yourself, right? And you can have the success and also keep it.
Yeah, and like when I talk about dreams, when you're a kid, you know, you want to be an astronaut, but then you go to school and you're told what to do, and then you get a job, you're told what to do, then you get money from a bank to buy a house, and I'm trapped now because I'm paying off the mortgage and I'm living on this amount of money. And people, the dream slowly goes away. But whatever stage you are in life right now, start dreaming again, because, you know, it's amazing place out there to travel, experience, plus there are opportunities to create freedom in so many different areas. You just often need to know where to look for. For me, it was network marketing, but there's people making good money as YouTube influencers and Instagram influencers, and there is opportunity everywhere. You just got to know where to look for it. But the most important thing, you need to keep an open mind to everything.
That's so good. Thank you so much, Craig. Anybody listening, I would take advantage while we still have it to grab a session with you, work on your work-life roadmap. Thank you so much for all the lessons. Much love and success to you, brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
No worries. I'm off to Bora Bora tomorrow, so I'll just enjoy this beautiful location here now.
Yes, there's the view.
Waiheke Island. No worries. Thanks, Miro. I really appreciate talking to you. A great audience today.
Thank you, man. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.